teachers are not clerks, and we should not be reduced to being clerks. We're not simply passing the goods onto an empty head. We should spend more time peer-to-peer. We should spend more time in faculty meetings talking about how learning happens, how it could be more robust, how it could be, and we should take away the kind of whip that stands over teachers that says, you're going to be judged by your test scores. One of the things that the high-stakes testing, standardized testing does that we haven't talked about is it creates competition in a field that is naturally cooperative. So if I'm going to be paid and judged based on my kids' standardized test scores, then it's my third grade against your third grade. It's my high school against your high school. It's my city against your city, my state against your state. And Arne Duncan was the architect of a lot of this. Race to the top. Arne Duncan wasn't the Secretary of Education. He was like a low-level program officer for the MacArthur Foundation. What do you mean? I have to compete with Rhode Island to get a grant in Illinois? Why? Aren't all kids deserving of a decent education? Shouldn't we pour masses of resources into this? Here again, we see a contradiction exposed, right? Because we were told again and again, there's no money for the arts in Chicago. There's no money for for small class sizes, which is also essential. There's no money for small schools. We can't do this. And all of that kind of, driven by privatizing the public space. Suddenly, there is money. There's trillions of dollars if you want it. It's a question of priorities. What do you want to spend on? Who do you want to, what do you think is important in our society? And even arch reactionaries want taxes, but they want taxes to go to military surveillance and prisons. I want taxes to go to healthcare, education, and guarantees of a decent standard of living for everybody. That's just a different way of saying what we should spend on. But the fact is, every government taxes and spends, and we spend largely on the wrong things. This crisis exposes that in a dramatic way. Some of the crazy things that have happened in this moment, the Chicago Public Schools announced with great fanfare in February, before they shut down, that they were going to put soap in the children's bathrooms. And you're like, wait a minute. There's no soap in the bathrooms? Detroit announces with great fanfare that stop shutting off water to poor families. Wait a minute, they were shutting off water? Oh, great, great advance. So I think we should take every one of these contradictions, especially in your case and my case, we should take every one of these and say, let's take this contradiction and use it as an opportunity to solve the underlying pre-existing conditions of social despair.